welcome to the Internet Retard Roundup. What? I can't say roundup? Just because a couple of Trump-loving dingbats said that they wanted to round up all the minorities, the rest of us can't use that word anymore? I'm so sick of the liberal agenda and all of you stupid, overly sensitive bitches! I'm going to keep saying roundup, and there's nothing any of you hypersensitive, virtue-signaling, no-life-having, chronically online acting fucktards can do about it! Hey everyone, it's your friend Skeem from the internet. For some reason, a lot of my videos get demonetized. I can't figure out why. It's obviously some sort of conspiracy, so if you want to stand up and fight the power, then join this YouTube channel. Members get early access to these godforsaken videos, and that's the plug. So the first person we have in our roundup today is comedian Tom Segura. Thomas. So there's a clip of Thomas saying washcloths are for poor people.
I've only met poors who use them. I've ended friendships when I saw washcloths. We don't have that much soap to go around.
That resurfaced on Twitter, X, the Elon Musk sanctuary for sexually conflicted conservatives, whatever it's called. Anyway, you might be thinking we're rounding up Tom himself. And if so, you're next on the list for the roundup. Because we're rounding up this DJ Bennett fellow, Benet, whatever, and everyone in the comment section who somehow doesn't understand sarcasm and satire when it's blatantly on display. This is obviously a joke! Tom had even prior followed up on the outrage from his clip with an obviously super serious response video.
So I've received a remarkable number of messages from just countless poor people. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna use a washcloth. What happens when a wealthy person uses a washcloth?
But still, somehow, almost a year later, this is circulating again, as if it's meant to be taken literally and seriously. This is what happens when mouth breathers are given social media. Whether they share this stuff to get free clout by rage baiting, or they're the ones who actually believe this shit is real, everyone's in the crosshairs. In fact, we're rounding up the entirety of the Twitter X Games ecosystem. And coming up next on our list, we have Joe Biden. What? What else do you need from me here? You ever go to the kitchen, grab some bread, put an uncooked egg in the middle, and just go to town? No? Well, then that means you're much smarter than the next idiot on our list. Let's talk about Dr. Umar. He's a truly inspirational retard. You see, Dr. Umar lets other people with intellectual disabilities know that anything is possible. This man managed to get a doctorate in clinical psychology while denying almost every tangibly proven element in the field. A true testament to Western education being willing to give out a degree to anyone so long as you're willing to pay. Unfortunately for Umar, the APA is a little bit stricter when it comes to actually granting a license to practice to an absolute buffoon. But in any case, recently Dr. Umar took a break from condemning homosexuality and interracial marriage to discuss hip-hop, wherein he proudly proclaimed that not only can Eminem not be considered a great rapper due to being white, but also that liking Eminem or considering him one of the greats or the greatest of all time is a form of white supremacy. This brand of racist gatekeeping, which conveniently ignores the actual multiracial Bronx Party roots of hip-hop, is usually more common amongst uneducated grifters like Joe Budden or Nick Cannon. But Dr. Umar decided that we needed this inane drivel to come from someone who is meaninglessly backed up by his purchased participation trophy from the Philadelphia College of Medicine. Well, Umar, while your story is inspirational to your fellow intellectually disabled peers, on this channel we do have to stick with the hard, cold facts. And the fact of the matter is, just because you deny the objectively proven existence of learning and intellectual disabilities doesn't mean that your own blatantly apparent learning and intellectual disabilities disappear. Let's talk about Demi Lovato. You might remember Demi as that attention-seeking whore who said she was non-binary for a couple weeks because she got a bad haircut. Now, normally, when someone is forced to listen to Demi Lovato speak, hear her sing, or just be aware of her presence in general, the natural human response is to commit suicide. Recently, in an effort to lower the rapidly increasing suicide rate of her immediate proximity, Miss Lovato has found a creative way to de-incentivize committing suicide due to her presence by singing to ghosts. That's right, not even the sweet release of death can free you from Lovato's incessant need to force herself upon you like a politician on Epstein Island. Do you like Star Wars? Because Disney sure doesn't. The latest entry into the attempts to ham-fistedly make Star Wars relevant to modern audiences who apparently don't exist based off of box office sales of films that try to do this. Anyway, the latest effort is headed by Charmin Obaid-Chinoy? Oh, now don't be fooled. Her name might sound like one of the ridiculous names George Lucas would have given an actual character in Star Wars, but that doesn't mean she has any interest in telling a good story, nor does she know anything about Star Wars. How do we know this? Well, recently, she said that it's about time a Star Wars film was shaped by a woman. Excuse me? Miss Charmin Obi-Double-Chin Kenobi? Last I checked, the events of the original trilogy were kick-started by Princess Leia, who would stay a quintessential part of shaping the events of every one of those films. In the prequel trilogy, Anakin Skywalker's entire arc is based around the influence of his mother Shmi and his love for Padme. But maybe Charmin Obi bad at directing's talking about the lack of female directors and writers in the Star Wars universe. Maybe those storylines don't count because the women weren't the main characters. Well, what about the sequel trilogy that's centered around Rey Skywalker Palpatine Sue? Or Rogue One, arguably the best Star Wars film in the entire franchise, which centered around the story of Jin, who shaped all of the events leading to A New Hope. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with women shaping a story. The problem is that's been happening for the entirety of the Star Wars universe's existence. Charmini Hutt Jr. is sounding a lot like the time that Jennifer Lawrence thought that she was a pioneer in the industry for being a female lead in an action film. Have none of the people working in Hollywood ever watched a movie? If Charmin Ultra believes that women shaping storylines is new to the Star Wars universe, she's either never watched Star Wars films, or worse, thinks that a woman shaping a Star Wars film must involve some level of She-Hulk cringe. Whatever the case may be, this take is certified dingus energy. Now there were some more people I was going to talk about today, but honestly I just can't be bothered with it right now. So subscribe for more nonsense, and until next time, I scheme, you scheme, we all scheme for ice cream. Bye!